ADOS community, I say it time and time again, the Democrats need our vote to win the election. They can't be President Trump without the black vote. It's not going to happen. And that's why we're saying that, hey, you need us. We don't need you. You need us. So if you want our vote and if you want to beat Donald Trump and you want him out of office, you're going to have to come up with reparations. You're going to have to come up with a black agenda. And if you don't, President Trump's going to win again. He's going to expel and deport all of these damn illegal immigrants that you're pandering to. And you're going to desperately need us again. See, ADOS, this 2020 election is pivotal. Because the Democrats are trying to replace us with illegal immigrants. They're trying to bring them over here. Why? Because it's a numbers game. It's more Hispanics in America. And it's projected to be more Hispanics in America than black folks. So that's why they're pandering to the illegals. Think about the Hispanic and Asian coalition pack. Why are the Democrats reaching out to Hispanics and Asians? Because they're thinking about generations ahead. They're thinking about future voters. They're not thinking about us, ADOS. And they talk about this black and brown coalition. We're not involved with the Asian and Hispanic coalition pack, are we, ADOS? No, we are not. The Democrats are trying to replace us. That's the end game. But we ain't playing that shit. If you don't come up with a black agenda, if you don't cut the goddamn check, Trump's going to win re-election and you will never see the White House again. Plain and goddamn simple. That's why the ADOS movement is important. It is vital. It is integral because it is giving our people solidarity. And we're coming together for one purpose and one purpose only, to close the racial wealth gap, and reparations is the only way that we can solve that problem. Reparations is the only way we can fill the fucking racial wealth gap, and we ain't stopping until we get damn reparations. You gave it to the Native Americans. You gave it to the Japanese and the fake Jews, and you're trying to give it to the gays through the Pride Act. No, ADOS has been in this country since the start of this country. We fought in every war. We built the country for free. Cut the goddamn check, plain and goddamn simple. We don't want no studies. Study time is over. Play time is over. We want our check, and that's what we coming for. So I'm going to read through an article. I'm going to post the link to the article in the description box so that you can read through it for yourself. The title of the article is "Black Voters Will Define What Electable Means for 2020 Democrats." So I'm not going to read through the full article. I'm going to read a few excerpts of the article. And like I said, I'm going to post the link in the description box. So let's delve into the article. For all the strategic calculations, sophisticated voter targeting, and relentless talk about electability in Iowa and New Hampshire, the Democratic presidential nomination will be determined by a decidedly different group: black voters. And see, ADOS, let me stop there. See, we are the most loyal voting bloc in the Democratic Party. Yet they're pandering to illegals. And what do illegals do when they get the right to vote? They vote Republican. They vote for Trump. So they're neglecting the most loyal voting group. They're taking us for granted. The most loyal constituency in their party in terms of voting. They're taking our vote for granted, ADOS. They cannot win the election without us. Obama would not have won the election without the black vote. It would be impossible. So the Democrats cannot win without us. We put them in political office. We made them presidents. But look at the cities that they run. Look at the inner cities. The inner cities are a fucking disaster. They're a fucking mess. What have we gotten from the Democrats? Yet we vote for them time and time again religiously, and they don't do shit for our people, ADOS. Now it's time to hold them accountable. If you want our vote, come up with a damn black agenda. Come up with tangibles and come up with damn reparations, or you're not seeing the fucking White House ever again. Furthermore, African Americans will watch as mostly white voters in the first two contests express preferences and winnow the field. Then they will almost certainly anoint the winner. So far, that helps explain the front-running status of former Vice President Joe Biden. Mr. Mass Incarceration. He ain't no fucking front runner. I don't believe that shit. Up there blaming black parents for the legacy of slavery. Asked a simple damn question. Are white Americans responsible for the legacy of slavery? And I'm paraphrasing the question. And he goes in some fucking rant about listening to words and listening to record players and shit like that. He wouldn't blame his wicked ancestors for the shit that they done to our people, brought us over here, enslaved us. We built the goddamn country for free. And after we were enslaved, we suffered Jim Crow, suffered other racist, segregationist policies. We didn't have no country to run to. We didn't have no asylums to seek like these fucking illegal immigrants. We didn't come over here through our own choice or our own volition. We had to take that shit. We were sprayed with water hoses. Dogs were sicked on us. Yet we stood up to the racists. We didn't have nowhere to run to, ADOS. And yet this fucking coward, this cracker, won't even tell the truth. He's blaming you for the shit that his ancestors did to our people, ADOS. And that's why we gotta quit giving our fucking vote to these people, because they're just as racist as the Republicans. I don't give a fuck if Biden served under Obama. Obama didn't do shit for our people, ADOS. And that tells you a lot about fucking Barack Obama choosing this fucking white supremacist as his VP. But I digress. All right. So furthermore, he has name recognition, a relationship with America's first black president, and a decade-long Democratic resume. Black voters have long been at the foundation of his support. His home state of Delaware, where he served as a U.S. Senator for nearly 4 decades, is 38% black. And until another presidential candidate proves that he or she can beat him, he is likely to maintain that support. In the 2008 campaign, Hillary Clinton held a long lead among black voters over Barack Obama until he stunned her by winning the Iowa caucuses and proved to black voters that he was acceptable to a broad spectrum of Democrats. Those same voters returned to Clinton in 2016. This cycle, many black voters are also making a pragmatic choice, driven as much or more by who can defeat President Donald Trump as the issues that they care about, and sitting back to see which candidate white voters are comfortable with before deciding whom they will back. We ain't worried about who white people are comfortable with. No, we want you to cut the goddamn check. That's plain and goddamn simple. We don't give a fuck who white people are comfortable with. And honestly, we're not worried about who can beat Donald Trump, because honestly, we ain't scared of a Trump second term, because Trump is actually saying shit that we agree with. That these illegal immigrants are coming over to our country and they're here to replace us, and they're being used by the Democrats for votes. So President Trump is actually doing something positive for our community. So we're not afraid of Trump. We're not afraid of another Trump term, because we're going to use Trump to get rid of these fucking illegals so that we can influence our agenda in America. So Democrats, don't rely on the black vote. Don't rely on us to save your party, to put you in the White House. If you don't have tangibles, if you don't come up with a goddamn black agenda, Trump will win again. Plain and goddamn simple. Okay. Furthermore, at the same time, the early courtship of black voters, overt and subtle, is part of a primary within the primary that includes detailed plans on issues like criminal justice reform, reparations, maternal mortality among black women, voter suppression, and systematic racism. Trump appealed to black voters during the 2016 campaign by saying, "What the hell do you have to lose?" and ended up with only 8% of the black vote. But the Republican president again is saying he will try to win over black voters, frequently citing low unemployment and his own success in signing criminal justice legislation. So far, there is no evidence to suggest that he will succeed. But the first test of decisiveness of black voters will come in the primaries. African Americans make up roughly 13% of the U.S. population, but 24% of the Democratic primary electorate. That number is more formidable in the early primary state of South Carolina, where black voters are 2/3 of primary voters, and in other early voting states like Georgia, Alabama, and Virginia. Biden reminded black reporters in a recent roundtable that his strength is not just with working class whites, but with the black voters he's known more than half a century in politics. He acknowledged that familiarity is no assurance of success, and he noted that black voters may ultimately prefer black candidates like Senator Harris, of California, or Cory Booker of New Jersey. First, though, one of them would have to prove to black voters that they are viable alternatives. Black voters can be decisive not only in determining the Democratic nominee, but also the ultimate winner. While Democrats have peaked in recent cycles with white voters at around 40%, black voters have been their most loyal constituency. But in 2016, a drop-off among black voters had consequences. Black voter turnout dropped from 65.3% in 2012 to 59.9%, and Hillary Clinton received 89% of the black vote, compared with 93% for Barack Obama in 2012 and 95% in 2018. So I'm not going to read the rest of the article. ADOS. The road to the White House for the Democrats is through ADOS, the ADOS community. If you don't come up with a goddamn black agenda, if you don't cut the goddamn check, you are not going to see the White House, plain and goddamn simple. But that's all I got to say. Make sure you like, make sure you share, and make sure you subscribe to my channel. Drop a comment. I'm interested to hear what you think about this subject. But I appreciate all the support. And as always, thank you for allowing me to share my views. Have a great evening.